Hey YouTubers, this is Steve here, recording my first video for my new YouTube channel, AquaticFever. Just wanted to introduce myself and give everybody a little tour of my tanks. I've been in the hobby off and on most of my life since I was a little kid, and had a lot of fish tanks over the years, and was kind of out of it here for a number of years, probably a good 10 years or so. I don't know, maybe not quite that long, but about a year ago decided to get back into it, and this was the first tank I set up. As you can see, I have some African cichlids here. The majority of them are Mbunas. They're all Lake Malawi fish, and I think there's about 9 or 10 in here right now. Most of them are hiding. A few of these guys were actually born in this tank. They always, every time I turn around, I have a female carrying some fry. I have, as you can see by a couple other tanks that I have downstairs. You know, I've saved a couple batches, and but you know, when they have them in the tank here, the majority of them naturally get eaten, and then a couple of them will manage to survive. But a couple of them are getting pretty big in here that were born in this tank. I don't know if you can see that one right there. He was born in here, and this is a 55-gallon tank. I would like to make it a little more natural looking and put some rocks in here, rock formations, and but I've just either haven't gotten around to it, or I was, you know, these artificial reefs or decorations here, whatever you want to call them, they're actually pretty good. Make a pretty good hiding place for all the fish. I kind of always hesitated about pulling them out. I was afraid that things were going to get, you know, some of the fish are going to end up getting tore up, and don't really want to mess with things right now. But anyhow, I just noticed that one right there, that Mbuna, she's carrying again. She's got a mouthful of fry. I don't know if you can see that and tell, but it looks like she's still got a ways to go before she's ready to spit them out. But after you've had Mbuna for a while, you can kind of tell when they're carrying them. She's spooked by this camera. But anyhow, I'm gonna cut this off here and head down the basement and show you my other tanks. I'm really into planet tanks and smaller tanks, some microfish and smaller fish. So as you can see that by the tanks that I have downstairs. Okay, here we are downstairs. Got a 30-gallon community tank down here planted. This weekend I cleaned it out and thinned out some plants. You could hardly even see the fish. I had it so thick with vegetation down there. But that's a 30 down on this bottom rack, bottom shelf, and up here, and I have a 20 long here. This was my first planted tank about a year ago, last September or so. I set this up, and I was just looking at some old videos from March, I think, and all these tanks, and there was hardly any vegetation in here at all, and I'm constantly just removing just handfuls of plants and vegetation out of here, so these plants are been growing like crazy in these tanks. But can't really tell right now, but there's probably about 150 or so red cherry shrimp in this tank. I don't know where they're all hiding right now, but when I feed them this afternoon, they'll have a mess of them here in the front. This tank here is just regular gravel bottom, and it just amazed me at how these plants have taken off in here. You can see that one sword plant there, just with all the runners all the way around the tank here. They just all sprouted up here in just a couple weeks. It was amazing. And down to the 30 here. Have some, as you can see, I have some live bears, and they're just reproducing like crazy. Some platies. Have quite a few shrimp in this tank also, and some cories. I don't know. They kind of blend in with that dark gravel there. They're hard to see, but yeah, this is really one of my favorite tanks here. The plants really turned out beautiful, and they've been growing like crazy. This tank here is a 10-gallon tank. This was one of my original planted tanks too, about a year ago, that I set up. It's as you guys can tell, it kind of like a natural effect. Just let things go. I try to keep it thinned out the best I can, but I'm definitely not a professional aquascaper. But I have a ton of endlers here, some red chili endlers. I got them from Glenn Hawkins. You guys, I'm sure everybody has seen his videos, YouTube videos. But they're just reproducing like crazy in here. Beautiful fish. I really enjoy watching these guys here. And okay, go take a look at. Can you turn the light on the tank? Just push the bottom button there. Yeah, push it once. There we go. This tank's overgrown here. This is just a little 5-gallon or 2.5. This was a 2.5, wasn't it?
I
Yeah,
think
2.5 gallon.
It's a 5
Yeah,
gallon.
that's right.
Yeah.
It's a 5-gallon acrylic tank. It's full of red cherry shrimp, but we got it for our beta that we have in here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see him or not, but this tank is getting a little bit overgrown for him. I need to thin it out, but the red cherry shrimp in this tank are just taking off like crazy. There's tons of little tiny shrimp in this tank. And like I said, it definitely needs to be thinned out here. I need to get in here and trim up some of these this water sprite, and Java moss is growing like crazy in there. Need to thin that out a little bit. But and the other, here's another 10-gallon tank that I have some of the Mbuna fry that we have had upstairs. Once in a while, if I have a free tank, I'll try to pull the Mbuna out that are holding fry, and try to save some of them, but you can't get them all. Just don't have enough tanks. But I've had a few batches of these guys, and this one I think she'd already spit out some of the fry into the bigger tank, and I think most of them got eaten, but I usually have about 30 fry or so, and I think I only have 12 here. But they're growing like crazy. They're doing really good in here. And I have one more tank in here. This is in my office downstairs, and I have a 20-gallon tank here, and well, the other one, that 10-gallon, is supposed to be my hospital tank, but this kind of turned into the hospital tank. I have a couple of Mbuna in here. One they were really picking on him, and he didn't have his fins were almost gone. He wants to hide now, but they're almost back to normal. He's looking really good. I have two of them in here, and I have a divider. One's a little bit smaller than the other one, so the smaller one can get away from the bigger one and get through that divider to the other side. But yeah, he's not going to want the little one came out. He's over here now, but there it is. Yeah, I think when I first started this video here upstairs at the 55, I mentioned that I had 7 tanks. Well, I do. You guys only saw 6 in the video. I started counting. I was like, "Where's my 7th one?" Well, this is my 7th one here. This is my 75. I'm actually going to replace that one upstairs. It was a used tank, and some of the caulking's coming out of the 55. The caulking's coming out of the corners. I'm kind of scared that eventually it's going to start leaking. So I got this one. This is a project for one of these weekends coming up here, and get the Mbuna transferred to this tank. And I think probably at that point is when I'll rescape it and put some rocks in there and get rid of that artificial decorations or reefs or whatever that's in there. So, all right, YouTubers, we'll catch you later.